Aren't you?
Yes.
Continue it. Okay, so the recording has started now.
Yep.
Yes. So at the moment, City of Spies is available on a streaming platform called Stream, STREAM. Yeah, they're trying to put it on other streaming platforms as well. You know how new movies are added to Netflix every now and then, but these things take time. They take time.
Yeah. So you said there was a twist in the film.
Mm-hmm.
When you said that, it actually reminded me of another film recently came out with Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren, and it was all based around Ian's character, obviously not being who he says he was, and also same for Helen as well.
Oh, what is the name of the movie?
That's what I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, it's called The Good Liar.
I am not sure if I've seen it or not. It sounds really familiar. I watch a lot of movies and series in the evenings when I'm chilling out, and
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of stuff. So I can't really remember.
No, it came out 3 years ago, but I've sat and watched it once, and I was like, "Oh, that is so clever," because the twist is subtle. You don't necessarily see it coming, but everything builds and builds and builds, and then finally it's all revealed and absolutely suspenseful and fantastic.
Yes, it's the same thing with City of Spies. There's a big shock at the end, and there's a big twist. But I'm not gonna say anymore.
So you said you're going to be in the part 2.
Yes. I'm not sure when we're gonna start filming. I don't know. Possibly next year or the year after.
Do you see yourself in other potentially going to other films after that?
I have actually filmed a series called the Undead series in Hollywood. It's by the director called Juliet Landau, and she used to play Drusilla in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was amazing working with her, and in that series, she also has on board Joss Weldon and Rice, Gary Oldman. She's got some really big names in it, Tim Burton as well. Again, this is a Hollywood series, but it is independent, you see. So we filmed it about 4 years ago, and post-production is taking a long time. Post-productions in indies, they take a really long time. So I haven't even been to the premiere of this one yet. It's not out yet. Last year, I also had a role as Crystal in a movie called Mosaic, which I've been told by the director is going to be released in 2023. I have also been in a British film called Red Army Hooligans, which was released about 3 years ago as well. And it was being sold in HMVs all around UK, and it's in Sainsbury's, Asda, and in Tesco. The physical DVD, I mean. People can watch that on Rakuten if they want to, and on Amazon, I believe. And yes, I'm due to film another movie, which is in pre-production. We haven't started filming yet. It's also an indie, and so they're still doing fundraising for it. So I'm thinking maybe next year or the following year we should start filming that one. It's called Rotten. It's about a psychopathic clown killer, but I don't think I should say more.
Yeah, I think if you said more, you may give some people nightmares.
I don't want to give any information away. I'm not sure how much the director would want me to say. Also, recently I have not auditioned for any movies because I've been busy with other things. But I do plan to, if the right role and the right people filming it, you know, it seems like the right thing to do, then I will audition, and I would be really, really happy to be part of an amazing project. So yes, I do plan to act more. The music video to Electrifying is kind of like a short movie. You've watched it, haven't you?
Not yet, but it's definitely on my list of viewings.
Okay, so in the music video of Electrifying, I created 3 characters. I even gave them names. One of them is a cyborg alien, and she's from another faraway planet. She's looks emotionless, but I guess she represents my higher self. Then you've got Eteria X, which is she is a robotic raver. She is a little bit too much in love with materialistic things. She loves partying. That I guess is another side of me. And then there is another powerful character. Her name is Elwyn, and she is a Celtic fairy and a healer. And that represents my spiritual side, my enlightenment along the years, I guess. Elwyn is she's very peaceful, and if you see the music video, when I play the character, I do the 5 movements. They're called the 5 movements, and I took them from the series which you might have heard of. It's called the OA. It's a paranormal series, and the 5 movements represent taking out the badness, the negative energy, and transmuting it into something positive. I want you to see the music video so you know what I'm talking about.
I will admit I have actually got it on, but I've got it on mute at the moment. But I will properly sit and listen to it after we've spoken.
And obviously,
I have to say, your costumes look fabulous.
Thank you. Obviously, they all have electrifying powers, especially the cyborg alien. She has a lead which she charges to at night, if you've seen that bit. And she needs to be charged, actually, so that she can use her electrifying powers.
It just sounds like it could be a plot to a movie.
Yes, I think that Electrifying is more than just a song. It's it has the hearing aspect to it, the song, the music video, the visual aspect, and I'm also doing some comics with the characters. So I've just started painting with acrylics on canvas one of the characters, the cyborg alien one, the one that is wearing the big silver pointy headpiece and the black big wings on her shoulders. So I'm planning to sell merchandise with paintings like on t-shirts, on mugs. It's more like a multimedia project to me.
Just going back to the acting, do you still get scripts? And if so, what's your kind of vetting process for choosing a project?
Could you please repeat the question?
I was saying, with scripts that you get, do you have a specific vetting process that helps you choose the projects to go with?
Yes. There's a few people out there that call themselves directors and producers. They'll send you a script over, and it's all a lie. There, you can't find them on IMDb. There's nothing on the internet that states that they had done anything before. And you know, people, girls, especially women, and guys, because anyone can, you know, can be targeted. They need to be careful. They need to not be naive and believe everything they get sent and everything they're told. I had someone, by the way, this doesn't happen anymore. I don't get scripts from these kind of people anymore. This used to happen up to about 4 years ago. And then I stopped getting these crazy people sending me stuff, because I think I've done a lot more, and maybe a lot of them think that I have a management that sees everything that gets sent to me. So probably a lot of them think that I don't manage my social sites or my emails. So I don't get that kind of stuff anymore. But I remember a few years back, there was this person that that really expressed an extremely intense need for me to be in his movie, right? He sent me a script and he started saying he's going to pay me about 50,000 to be in this role. He said he was based in Birmingham, and I knew that there was something fishy about it. But I said, let me play along and see what happens, you know, because we'll see. And then he started saying, oh, there are these sex scenes, and I want them to be really realistic. And that's when the funny business started. I realized that he was a wrong one, because he started telling me, this was by text, by the way, by form of text. I never did a video call with him or anything like that. We never spoke on the phone. He was just chatting on text with me, and emails, of course. And he mentioned that there was some movies in Hollywood where the actors actually, it was not a fake sex scene, that there actually was a real sex scene, and there was actually penetration. And I'm like, are you bloody serious? What do you actually think that I'm a dumb blonde? I mean, it really got me angry, because like, you're disrespecting, like you're underestimating my intelligence. Like, you're disrespecting me actually right now, trying to make me believe this. And I remember I got really angry, and I blocked him. And then I was gonna go to the police, and then I decided not to. And then I had a friend an actor who has played the role of a policeman several times. And he called him and he mentioned some police station from somewhere in London, and he told him that he wanted him to go down there to have a chat. And Yeah, and I never heard from him again. He didn't try to call me or anything like that. It was just, yeah. But yeah, these things, like, there has been other things that happened. There were other people in the industry that tried to be what is called predators, even real ones.
Yeah.
Real directors. I don't want to mention any names. And it's put me off. It put me off the acting world, to be honest with you, because I started getting frustrated, and yeah, I just didn't want to be a part of it. I was like thinking, oh, it's not worth it. When the right person comes along, then it comes along, but I'm not going to pursue this. I'm not going to stay, networking. It is so hard to network. Like, even maybe you want to cut this off. I don't mind if you put it in. Like, I have quite a big a public persona on social media. So on Instagram, I have over 253,000 followers. On my Facebook artist page, 112,000. But I also still keep my personal Facebook page. It's where I have my personal friends. I think it's where you and me, yeah, it's where me and you connected, and we added each other a few years back. And in this particular page, I don't really add anyone anymore, even if I see they have mutual friends of mine. I haven't added anyone in years. And recently, because I've been to the UK premiere and I've released my song, and I know that, maybe people want to network, or if they're in the same industry. So recently, I added a few people, and I had to add a post in my profile saying I will not tolerate any bullshit, because you have to realize this is my private page, and it's a safe space, isn't it? It's not like the Instagram or Twitter or the Facebook artist page. It's a sacred space. And I'm trying to network, trying to connect with positive people like you, and like other great people I have on it. But yeah, even though I posted there, I let someone in, and he started with the bullshit, basically, on Messenger, coming up with silly questions, and his intentions were not good ones. So I booted him out straight away. But it's and don't get me wrong, and I am an empowered woman, but it still gives you a sense of disgust and frustration, just a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm of the same view when it comes to people trying to add me on, say, Facebook or Instagram. And I mean, I was very much originally of the view that I was never going to join Instagram ever, because, to be honest, it didn't really appeal to me. But obviously, over the last couple of years, because of obviously the pandemic and working so many hours, that I actually relented and actually joined, and I still get a fair few people that are just, well, I'm just going to say spam accounts trying to add me, and I'm just like, I just send this message. I go, you clearly can't read a profile when it says, if you are a spam account or anything like that, you will be blocked and reported.
And
it's fairly blunt as well, because it's in block capitals. Because I'm
like, so it's not just spam accounts. There's also robotic accounts that don't have a particular person behind them. It's a robot.
Yeah.
And if you, for example, pages like mine, where I have thousands of followers, it gets targeted even more, because they are trying to they follow me to try to get access to who I follow and who follows me. So they could then add them as well. Do you know what I mean? It's a very intricate system that they use.
Yeah, and as I say, I very rarely add people onto mine, or if I get sent a request, I always check them out. I don't just add them blindly.
Mine, my Instagram is public figure. Is a public figure, what you call it, account. So it's not possible to make it private. And whoever follows me can follow me. I get DMs which go in the other inbox, and I ignore them. I don't open them, you know. So anyone can follow. It's like a public thing. Anyone can see the posts, because I majorly post about my career, so things about my music, the photo shoots, the acting stuff I done, premieres, anything to do with my career. Sometimes I post personal stuff that I want to share, maybe a nice, beautiful message about my spiritual journey or about what I believe in. I am vegan, so sometimes I post vegan stuff as well. And I have come to terms that it's a public thing, like having a YouTube channel, isn't it? So anyone can see what you are posting there. And then it's up to you which messages you accept and which ones you don't. So social media can be used as a good tool and as a negative tool. It just depends how you use it. Just don't allow it to use you.
So true. And just to go back once again, you're saying that you used to write poetry and stories. What kind of things did you write?
Oh my gosh. So when I was a kid, I used to have some really weird dreams. And my parents used to tell me, well, I should put those dreams down on paper. I didn't exactly do that. So I used to use those dreams as inspiration to write a story. And I was like 4 or 5 years old, right? And I remember I was in what is called year 1 back in Malta. I was 5 years old. And I wrote the story very detailed. I can't remember what I wrote exactly, but apparently it was extremely detailed. It was about fire. And my parents went to the teacher's parents meeting. It was set on a day, and the teacher said, you need to tell your daughter to pursue her creative side of things, because she writes these stories out of nowhere with really good hold of English. And she wrote a story about fire. Here it is. And and poems as well. I kept writing stories and poems till I was at the age of like 13, and I started writing songs around then as well, 13 years old. And then I stopped when I was about 21. Yeah, when I was 21. When I started working as a radiographer, I stopped. Then afterwards, I started again recently. Now I think my expressive side, my creation is really coming out now in different forms. With the song I've just written my 3rd single as well. Just written the lyrics and the melody to the 3rd single now, and I've sent it off already to the music producer. So we're going to be working on that soon, on recording it. And I've been having a teacher, an art teacher, coming to visit me every Thursday as well. And I've been painting acrylics and pastels on canvas. So yeah, my creative side is really, really coming out now, and it makes me so happy because it really helps with making me feel like I am one with the universe, like balanced. If I don't express myself in a creative way, I tend to feel like a blockage. And when I express myself, and it could be in any way, with painting, with writing something, even a simple blog, with dancing, moving, writing a song, is just opens up. It really balances me and opens up that like I kind of like that spiritual blockage, if you know what I mean. I'm not sure if you're spiritual at all, but I feel like my aura really glows and I feel peaceful at night when I sleep, when I'm expressive like this. And I feel like I'm really embracing it right now.
I could I can certainly follow with what you mean, because I'm much the same, because for me it feels more that it's an escape from reality than it does that I'm just putting something down on paper just for the sake of putting it down on paper. Because I think I've got at least 3 or 4 stories on that I'm still writing at the moment.
Oh, lovely.
And if I have it to hand, because in one of them that I write, and I write this, it's a beautiful moment, because I put one of the characters is on a spaceship, and
Sorry, spaceship.
Yeah, I write a plethora of different stories, whether it's crime, thriller, action, sci-fi, God knows. And
Tell me more about the spaceship one.
the character that I've got, he stands on top of his ship with his crew at far out in space, and actually is watching what I call fireworks in space.
Oh, lovely.
And for him, he just stands there, watches it as it happens, and I was like, that's just a beautiful moment.
What are the fireworks in space? Does that mean that maybe stars are being born, new stars exploding and being born?
Probably a combination of whether stars are going out or new stars are being born and things like that. I haven't yet fully written out that.
That sounds.
But I started it though.
That sounds really beautiful, and it's very similar to the concept of my recent 2 paintings that I created. I've got one. I can see them from here actually. One of my paintings. It's the mother goddess pregnant with Earth. She's floating on water in a lotus position. On the left side of her is an infinite galaxy, and on the right side of her is the God's Eye Nebula. She's got blonde, long hair, and it becomes one with the God's Eye Nebula, like a spiral. And then the other one that I mentioned to you that I created is based on the Shalbadora character, the cyborg alien that is in the music video that I'm dressed up as. And she's wearing, she's flying in air in a comic hero position. She's holding a thunderbolt and she's looking down at Earth. She's in space, and there's her mothership, the spaceship floating behind her.
That sounds absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. Oh. I will send you the finished image of the Mother Earth, the Mama Earth one, and I will also send you the other one as well, the cyborg alien one that's based on electrifying. It's not finished yet, but I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you so you know what I'm talking about.
And I'll send you a copy of the space one as well. That's not finished yet, but it's still got a fair way to go, because it's not just based around one character. It's a multitude of characters, but they all have intertwining stories.
And might I ask what you are planning to do with the stories that you write?
Hopefully get at least one of them published one day, once I finally get to the ending.
You know that you can self-publish nowadays as well, because when you publish with companies, they give you an advance, and then from the sales they take a big chunk out of your money. I mean, they will promote it for you, sure, but you don't know how good that is going to go. I know a little bit about the publishing world because my father, he writes university textbooks for finance and economics, like real thick ones, and they are sold like in shops for about 200 or 250. You know, they're university textbooks, so they're really expensive. But he says that he doesn't make a lot from them. He doesn't. So I think that when we create, we shouldn't aim for the financial aspect behind it. If it happens, then it is a major bonus, you know?
Yeah.
I wanted to say something because you're talking about books and stuff. I'm thinking of I'm planning to write a book actually as well. It's not a fictional book. It's gonna be a book based on reality. I don't know if you've seen, but I was on the press recently, and one of the stories they wrote, I spoke with the journalist of the Daily Star, and I spoke about the time when I lived for a whole year with someone without even knowing his real name. Have you read the article at all, Ben?
I think I've definitely. I'm sure I've read it. I wasn't gonna touch on the subject unless it was something that you were comfortable with speaking about.
I don't mind speaking about it. Well, his real name. Well, I knew him as Andrew Lamb, and me and him were in a relationship together for 1 year. We split up a few years forward, and I'm in Malta speaking to my family. It was 2019, and they told me your ex was all over the news. It was a big shocking moment at the time. I read the articles, the news. It was all over, not just in Malta, it was internationally published. Apparently he was he was on the run for 16 years from Interpol. He had murdered someone in England. He had murdered Brian Waters and tortured him with a group of other people. And he escaped to Malta, and that's where me and him met. And yeah, basically I lived with someone for a year without really knowing them, and I didn't even know that I didn't know he murdered anyone. Yeah. So I'm thinking of writing a book based on the year that me and him spent together. It will be a very intimate book, a very personal book. And I'm going to try to write it as if no one is going to read it, because I want to be, if you know what I mean, I want to be as authentic as possible.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions about it, I don't mind answering, honestly. I mean, that particular story was published on the Daily Star, the Mirror, and then other newspapers took the information from those articles and published them on international newspapers. So I had people sending me emails or sending me messages on social media, just random people. I don't know them. Some people were from Sweden, from Norway, from Turkey, telling me, oh, I've read what you went through with your ex in the local newspaper. And yeah, they were very supportive. You know how sometimes like you open up to the public and you get hated and stuff. I think that this story ended up having the goal that I wanted it to have. The fact that you can't really trust anyone, even someone you've lived with and you've eaten with, you've slept with every single day. You can't really know someone. Now, I'm not trying to say that people shouldn't trust one another, of course, but I think it was an interesting story to share that, yes, these things don't just happen in movies, you know?
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, probably the whole thing with a story getting released and it having negative impact. Thinking back was when obviously the Queen, God rest her soul, was lying in state in London, and Phil and Holly, who was on this morning, got probably more aimed towards Holly than Philip, to be honest. Well, they were apparently queue jumping, and I'm like, you don't know what arrangements were made for those two to get in. You don't know if all you see is a picture of them walking in to where the Queen was laying. You're making an assumption that they're jumping in front, and I'm just like, for all anybody knew, they had arrangements made for them, or something was sorted out whilst they were on air, and then they were able to just and also this the whole thing with Harry and Meghan and the royal family, and I'm just like, to be honest, if they want to go off and live their own life outside of the public eye, that's their choice in life. It's up to them. If they want to raise their kids away from the papers, TV journalists, and radio presenters, that's again their choice and how they want to live. It doesn't have any impact on what I do day to day. It's their choice.
Yes. Usually, the people who tend to be judgmental are the ones that have nothing to do in their life. So they try to create drama that is external to them. There's nothing much happening in their life. They're not creating much. They don't have a specific life purpose, and so they need to have something else to focus on. So they look externally and they say, oh, who am I going to pick on? Who I need to gossip on someone. Something needs to be going on because nothing is going on with my life. So they pick on celebrities or, people who are Instagram influencers. And yeah, I mean, people who are busy with their lives, they don't have time to judge Meghan and Harry. I don't care what they do. I'm happy that they left, to be honest, because if they're happy, then that's good. I don't have anything. I don't really have anything to say about it.
No.
I just feel like people that tend to judge like that, they might have a spiritual blockage of some sort, and they do not maybe have a life purpose.
No.
Uh,
And as I said, it's their choice that they've gone off to do what they do.
you mentioned Holly and Philip. When just briefly, I'm gonna say, when my first story was published, the one about my ex, the murderer, whom I didn't know was a murderer, of course, when we lived together. Um,
Hello?